Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. We are going to start the chapter Create Your Study System, and the course title is Study Skills and How to Become a Confident Student. These are the some skills. How you will create your study system, the basic study system, and how you will devise your study system that help you for better studying and learning environment. What are the steps we have to be follow? So we have some activities regarding this, that you have some SQ3R system. And what is SQ3R system? We will be discussing later. And how we relate from all these learning style, whether it's kinesthetic, reading, writing, audio, and many multiple learning styles are related with that method, and how it will become fit and effective for you. Whenever we want to be study anything and want to be studied uh, any text, the title, the plot, the literature, the textbook, so we have to be keep review over it by highlighting and segmentize and categorize the ideas. For example, if you do for the reading novel or literature from the book, then you will be divide into the plot, and then characters, and what settings around the literature, and what was the theme behind it, POV, the point of view of the author, finally, and then you will be conclude. And just like that, when you apply all these formula onto the textbook, academic book, so you have to be plot the you have to highlight the example, demonstration, table and tabular and the chart form, which is support for the argument, and then author has some theory presented in it that was highlighted, and then you will get the main argument and main point of view from the textbook, what author and the writer want to say in that textbook. There is a different field of academic studies are there, natural sciences like maths, accounts, biology, zoology. All these are said to be natural sciences. Social sciences like history, sociology, psychology, these are the social sciences. They have different approach regarding this. Maths, this one is quantitative subjects, maths, accounts, statistics. Uh, these has quite different approach regarding this. And what is SQ3R? We have to be discussed later on. And the most important thing is that how we create a system that develop and well understand all these subjects. History and the literature has different approach when you study the language, the grammar of Urdu and in English, in Arabic, in Persian, whatever the language it is. When you want to learn some linguistic, so you will be stay stuck toward the grammar. And accounting has a presentation, the formula are there. Statistics is also deal with the numbers and the numeric. So these are different approaches when you want to be study, and these subjects has we create that study system that is very helpful to. Okay, what are the objectives to be discuss all these things? The students get well aware about how to create a basic study system like SQ3R, and how they will adopt their learning style according to that subject that I have mentioned previously, that help you more effectiveness. So now we have to be double click over SQ3R is an acronym, which means survey, Q question, R read, another R recite, and the last R review. You survey the question, you survey the textbook, survey the literature provided, and go through over it. What was the chapter? What is the title? What was the content? What was the preface? And what author want to say? And that is a complete brief survey. And then you raise a question: what do you want to get from this lecture? What do you want to get from this textbook? And how do you extract these questions that you want to be a draw from that reading, or after that part you will be look through and go through from the textbook. You go for the reading and read with the purpose, read with the motive, and recite aloud. That makes you uh, more attentive toward the content. And finally, go for the review. That system is very effectful when you do the reading and the active reading. Survey means what? Survey means the preview or the overview of the textbook, overview of the chapter, overview of the whole content, and preview. Preview what we have going to discuss and what we have already done it. This one is a survey. What topics covered, what content is completed. When you want to survey from your textbook, you have to follow these steps. First, the title page. What was the title page and chapter of it, and copyright of who published this, who was the author, and author has what kind of intention behind this, and introduction about the textbook, introduction about the author, introduction which is mentioned in the preface, and the content are there, detailed content are there. If you want to be study the selective content, then you go for it. And then some glossary are attached at the end of the book, appendix, which is mentioned in the last, bibliography, from where all these content are collected. Citations are there, and index that help you in chronological order from A to Z. If you want to know some key terms in vocabulary, then it will help you. Index help you to get quick click over that concept that you want to be study. For example, if you want to be study the study system, the word the study system or the word the survey, go for the index, and in from the S you will search the word survey or the study system, and here in front of them there is a page is mentioned, and then you click and go for it. If you want to survey the each chapter, and what step you have to be follow: first, chapter title, what was the title, and in front of every chapter there is a learning objective and outcomes are mentioned that shows you what you will learn from all these textbooks. Objective learning is very important, that is very purposeful, why you do reading, why you go through this chapter, and how this chapter is helpful to you. Then introduction of different key concepts, headings and the subheadings are there. Definitions are on the left column and highlighted, which at a glance you will be overview the main content. Graphical and the pictorial assistance help you to attract more content, and it assists you to quick understanding about the topic. So in the chapter, graphics and the visual charts are also there that help you. When two wordy contents are not uh, easily understandable to you, then you go for the graphics. So keywords, you will go for the keywords, and then finally at the end of every chapter there is a summary. If you have lesser time, if you want to be go quick review and make revision of the chapter, then you will be uh, move toward the last session, which is for summary. And finally, exercise, activity, to do work. It shows how you will be self-assess yourself, how you will be re-examine whether You have to understood that part or not. Your learning outcome is achieved or not, and where you are now, what is your understanding level. If you are able to solve the activities and the exercise mentioned in the chapter 10, it means you will be evaluating yourself, and you will be improved. If you would like to be improved more, and then go for the reading again and memorizing, and keep understanding those concepts which you lack. So exercise and activity is help you in recalling and review the whole chapter and the main content. If you like to survey from the ebooks, from the PDF, and from the internet sources, so many multiple means are there in contemporary world. Through the mail, through the Google Drive, through the Google Classroom, if the teacher created the classroom material, you will be go through from it, and from the different website sources are also available. Different blogs are there that help you to jump to the main content that you like to be study. So email, the website, the blog, the article, these YouTube sources, all these web resources and YouTube resources is also save your time in study. Okay, fine. Uh, if you want to review to add retention and recall, after reading the text, you will be dot a blank page just like that, and put your reflection and put your point of view, what you learn from all these chapters. For example, if now you are hearing my voice, you are taking my lecture, and as well as if someone is making some note at the end of the video, you will be make some practice. You will be take a one blank page and put it all your words, what you grasp, that relate, that help you, how much you have understand. So this one is a very good aid to review and to retain all the material, and this one is very good habit for recalling. Whenever you want to be study the book, at end you will be take a note and draw all your understanding, what you understand from all these chapters. Keep remember this SQ3R system. Survey the text. I will go through over it. Survey the text, the textbook, from the chapter, from the introduction, from the content, summary, deeply survey from the web source, all other sources. Then you will put the question, exam questions, and the question that you have in mind, and the question that your teacher is raising, and then answer it out. Draw the line between the nodes. The one part is question and the another part is an answer. And then will be answer out all those questions that you have raised. After that, you will be go through and review the text. By reading, you will be extract the answer, recite loud by concentration and attention, and read it again and again and again to survey. This method is very effective for understanding. Alright, the basic study system as QRRR. As survey. Survey means a review and the preview and the overview of the text. What we have already done and what we left and what we are going to do, and what is inside in the whole chapter. This one is a survey, the go through. Question to ask a question, exam question, whether you critical question, whether you have in mind something, and you want to be asked, you raise the question, listen the question. This one is the second stage. The third one is review. Review to aid retention and recall. The purpose of review and the revision is to keep memorize, keep recall, retain all the data and information that you read, that you learn, that you understand. And then recite. Recite is make focus and to keep record. And finally, read actively and without any diversion and any distraction. So whenever you want to be survey any book in the chapter, you must go through all these things. I will make again quick review over it. What I told you, whenever you want to survey the book in the chapter, the first you see the title page, then copyright page, who's an author, what is the intention behind, and what is the purpose behind to write this chapter, what is the learning objective, introduction, main content and the sub content, and relate the content of that book with the content of your syllabus that is you want to be achieved. Then glossary, appendix are very important, uh, and bibliography, the links of the different books and sources are there, which show the authenticity of the author, and the index where chronological alphabetical words are arranged. If you would like to go and search from the word, you will go from the index. The basic essence of questioning is what? The basic essence of question is that whenever you are doing reading, you must keep remember the examine question, and also understand the main idea of author, and try to improve your concentration. When you do reading, you will not deviate from the main idea. And whenever we follow the 3R, read, recite, and review, you will be uh, so much attentive. So from all these SQ3RR format, you will improve your reading. And what benefits you will attain, that you will become an active reader. The third R, the last R is read, and reading should be active. As an active reader, you will be less likely to slip into automatic pilot. You will be in a mood where you are completely concentrate on the main content. Using powerful multi-sensor strategies, wherever you are, we all there with the full completion and with the 100% concentration, all your senses work actively. Increase your reading comprehension by highlighting and clicking the technical terms and jargons with the dictionary, and make your point of view own reflection and author intention. So active reading is attained through getting the main point of view. Now, how to select effective strategies for different kinds of material? Lecture material are there, study material are there, PPT, PowerPoint slides are there, and we have many multiple sources for covering the one topic. Actively use the 12th principle of memory, that was uh, like keep recall all those data that you store in mind. Begin with a clear intention to understand what you are trying to read, what you are going to read. You must have clear focus on your purpose, and highlight and make question uh, on the top when you're doing reading. And when you are doing reading, make your notes and ask your question by yourself, what you are trying to get, what's the main idea and the point delivered by the author. Use an organized system for reading textbook chapters. Systematically, you will go for the reading and then highlight this content, the main content, the sub content with example. Be inquisitive. Inquisition of getting the new terms, new vocabulary, more learning, more concepts, and relate all to all the information to your practical life, to your practical situation. Manage your textbook reading time effectively. how much time do you spend for para and how much time for those chapter, and allocate after allocation of your time you will be also keep aside time for preparing a proper organized note from extract from the reading. And always use space practice or space studying. When you are doing study you will be align all those things effectively. Also include some form of feedback as you study what you are getting and whether your point of view is deviate from the main idea or not, and encode information from the ordinary words into the sensory codes, into the meaningful words to what they are trying to say here. There's a four level of reading. All these content is make you help in the last part, the reading, the active reading, how you will improve and effect make your reading effective. So here is the four level. Recreational. Recreational means you create meanings within the text overview, go through the content. Comparative and compare all those content with each other. So these four level of reading are very uh, essential. The first one to recreate the meaning and then overview, look through the content, and then compare comparative study with all those concepts. How you will make the survey effective, the preview and the overview, that is very effective when you do skimming. Skimming is that type of technique. You will highlight and go through the quick information from the data and get a big picture over the content, and before you begin through the reading you will go through the key points, main content, highlighted one, the table. This one is a skimming. Skimming is over generalized the concept. Survey to get an overview. Survey basically is an activate existing working memory. What do you get in mind, what you are trying to do, what you would get, and connect to existing schemas in the long-term memory. Schemas is a word that associated with key concept and definition, and this concept and point of view are built up in your mind in long-term memory. Set the stages to create new association, enhance motivation and interest level, break inertia or tendency to procrastinate. Procrastinate to give up habit, and there is a lot of distraction. Boost your confidence when you survey. Provide information about length and difficulty of the reading material. Help you set realistic goal and manage your time. Manage your time very effectively, and your goal should be realistic. For example, you will set the target and then you will cover your main topic within the 20 minutes, within the 15 minutes, and within the short span of time, what your outcomes to get. So, how you can survey a textbook? Title page, copyright, and the table of content. It shows what useful information will you given by surveying the front matter of the textbook. It shows the title, uh, slogan of the author, intention, copyrights, main content, and the introductory information. How these information help you to use the textbook more effectively, where all the prefaces, indices, content, sub-content, all are there that helps you. Appendix. What kind of information appear in the appendices of the textbook that help you? The glossary. What are several ways you can use the glossary effectively? And the references of the bibliography. This one is very useful. What, when, and where this information is taken, what are the source, and this information is useful for a student. and the index, when you should use the index of a textbook. And this all these uh, serving a textbook help you a quick overview on the chapter. When you survey from the chapter, read the introductory material carefully. What kind of introductory material frequently appear at the beginning of the chapter? In the opening one, what are the main areas and what the writer want to say, and what are the key point there? Read the headings and subheadings in the chapter. That is a good way to keep overview. And look at the visual materials such as chart, graph, picture, diagrams that create a big picture. And read marginal notes. Marginal notes, the textbook have marginal notes, what kind of information appear there, and then skim over terminology. Skim over information in the special thread. Skimming is read the terminology and definition. And the sixth one, read the end of chapter material. End of the chapter material. What kind of useful information often appear at the end of textbook chapter? So reading at the end of the chapter material, all these information is very summarize up some of the idea. Formulating question. A formulating question is a way, is of active reading strategy is one of the way, and they provide you what with the purpose for reading. They provide the purpose of reading, evaluating your curiosity, increase comprehension, and helps maintain a focus. The question and the answer create memory cues or association to recall information later. Write questions before you read. It highlighted and main focus on the reading. Write question as you read, and then write question after you read. So this habit make you a better creating questioning habit. So SQ, the question, and write the question before you read, and then write the question as you read, while you're during the reading, and write the question after you reading, what queries in your mind have. Just like that, when you hear that video and tutorial, you must write a question before you read, what you are trying to do, what you want to get from that lecture. And when you listen that topic, you will also meanwhile write up the question. And after completing the video, if you have some queries or all still there, you will write the question. So there is a 3 ways in time to write a question: before you read, when you read, as you read, and after you read. So SQ4R and shows what write questions, survey the chapter, Q1 questions for heading and subheadings, read the information, read the paragraph clearly, and record the information on notes taking. If you are good in preparing the notes making and the notes taking, that habit will lead you a good grade and good marks in your exam, and making your concept crystal clear. Recite, the next R, recite the important information from the paragraph aloud and make focus, and keep review is very important element. Review the information on the chapter and recall. Yes, keep remember all these steps of SQ4R. Survey, review, and the preview. Question, dare to ask a question toward when you read, before you read, and after you read. You have a critical question, you have a question, you have a basic question regarding the topic, regarding the concept, and then go for the reading, then you record a notes making, and then recite loud what you write here, and finally then make review. This cycle of 4R is a very great study system that create a very great study system. You must follow it. Read, then record in the notes, recite loud, and then review. So reading composition textbook. Textbook contain declarative knowledge and procedural knowledge. Declarative knowledge, where the author presented an academic definition, and procedural knowledge, there are a lot of method, procedure, steps are elaborate. Just like that, we have developed a study system by following the step SQRRR, 4R: survey, question, record, review, decide, record, review. Learn the terminology carefully, learn the writing steps, study the example very carefully, and plan to revise drafts several times. Repeat, practice, make men perfect. Analyze your work, proofreading many times, and apply writing element presented in the textbook. When you doing literature textbook, like a novel, short story, essays, plays, poetry, literature basically involve imaginative, figurative language to convey some emotional experience. And when you read through the completely to get an overview and emotional impact, you will relate yourself with the feelings with the content. After uninterrupted reading, read thoroughly a second time, and the second time, look for the figurative language. Figurative language is representing which type of symbols are using, which type of images they are portrayed, what word are used. Examine ways even unfold characters develop and detail weave together to develop the plot. Create visual images and movies in your mind that also help you to understand the whole plot and the storyline of the literature. If you like to do reading and then you apply ask you our approach on the history textbook, so first you have to be uh, align the sequence of the event in a narrative form, just like a history of anything. If you like to study about history of mind, history of sociology, history of psychology, history of man, so you will keep align and the data into systematic timeline, and then create timelines to show the sequence of event, which event is later and which one is prior, and look for the pattern and trend, cause and effect, and the relationship and major shift in the political, social, and cultural direction from one generation to another. This one is very helpful. Create visual images and movies in your mind that make an episodic memory, and create a story, just like a story in your mind and with your imagination. Memorize specific facts, names, date, treaties, war, definitions, years. This will also helpful. Read other accounts of the same event for alternative perspective, and that also help you more when you go reading from one side, from one source. You will also go through the alternative sources to make verified all the data provided and to take the another point of view in presentation. If you like to study reading the math textbook, so you will collect all factual information like declarative knowledge, symbol, signs used, like theorem, formula, equation, problem solving steps. These are the procedure knowledge. uh, First you have to be learn the formula, and the second the steps to follow. Math textbooks are also based on sequential skills and understanding the which step is first and which and later, which one is later. Look for the common pattern, concepts defined, concept presented as an equation, and concept expressed in symbols or algebraic notation, just like x, y, z, 2ab, 4ab. These are the symbols and application of that formula, and what you get and what you calculate from this method. When you like to learn the math and statistics, you also learn the language, symbols, signs, and the formula that is used in math and statistics. This one is very study sample equation, problem solving step, and rework problems several times to increase speed and accuracy. The practice make the make perfect, and after using that formula and after application of all, it will make you time ease. Focus on individual part of a problem, what is given, what you want to find out, and what step you need to solve, which formula is applied, make chart, make table, diagram, picture. That is very helpful in mathematical and statistical problem. If you want to read the science textbook, science textbook include the biology, chemistry, computer sciences, engineering, environmental studies, physics. All these are the scientific book. So scientific method are basically on inductive argument. What does it mean? Those argument which is based on facts is called inductive. Understanding involving hand-on, laboratory demonstration, experiment, and observation. You must keep remember all these facts. Science textbook use declarative as well as the procedural knowledge. Declarative in the form of symbol signs that is used in the scientific method, and procedure. What kind of method and formula are used to experiment and do experiment and testify this theory? Begin with overview reading, then use thorough reading. Read and examine examples, demonstration, and keep memorize the terminology and the jargon uses. Create mental image for the memory cues. Explain information, study diagram, and chart very carefully, and associate all those information to the larger concept and schemas. Okay, when you doing reading with the social sciences textbook that include the anthropology, study about the men, counseling, business, criminal justice, economics, education, ethnic studies, finance, history, law, marketing, philosophy, political sciences, psychology, public administration, IR, sociology, women's studies, feminism, all these studies are related to the human discipline, which is called the social sciences. So memorize the terminology, be able to define and give examples. And when you start studying and reading the social science textbook, learn the concept, learn the pattern, or the trend of that type, early thinker and early contributor and the contemporary thinker, what they are trying to say, what are the cause and effect of relationship between these idea, and the detail required to support the main point, and what is the main point, what is the main argument that they are trying to convince, and what are the claim to justify this. Find out the logical pattern there. Examine and interpret and all visual material, create visual material, personalize the information, use heading and subheadings to outline, make outline the chapter. So that's help you in reading as you are approach applying in reading the textbook. Thank you so much for listening me. I hope we will meet in the next lecture, inshallah.